Time to sit back and check out the RCWR show with Lee Sanders. Get fun, in-depth coverage and analysis from the latest in professional wrestling in AEW, WWE, NWA, Impact Wrestling, or the world of entertainment. From hit TV shows to your favorite sports like the NBA or NFL. All things music, movies, and beyond, while trying to make sense of this crazy world we live in. All while keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive since 2011. And now your host, live from the nation's capital of Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
Hey, boys and girls, what is going on? Here we are, Sunday night of August 3rd, 2025. We are minutes removed from a very shocking conclusion to the two-night SummerSlam event. Woo, daddy, how about that? Good God, sound off. Fire off with them comments. Let me know what you had thought about tonight's Night 2 SummerSlam. You can also vote on our interactive poll right now. That's coming to you on Twitter at the RCWR Show. We also have it up on Twitter at the RCWR Show as well. Man, the beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar, making his shocking return to the WWE here at tonight's SummerSlam. I gotta tell you, I did not have this on my bingo card. I really did not. I try to do my best when it comes to pay-per-view weekends to dodge any and all things news related because I want to be surprised. But leading into tonight's event, there was one interesting piece of news that I had saw early in the afternoon pertaining to Brock Lesnar. And I didn't dismiss it because the first thing that I did, I looked at the account and I could tell that it was one of those wrestling fan accounts that liked regurgitating news. And what was really weird about this one was this fan account, very little followers, and it didn't even credit where it had read this information from. So I did see the rumblings of Brock Lesnar. That's my whole point of bringing that up. But I just scoffed at the idea and I just said, whatever. Okay. But Brock Lesnar, the beast incarnate, making his return at SummerSlam. Now, if you are keeping tabs and you want to get technical, if you are maybe asking this question, I have the answer to it, which is, okay, Lee, is this the first time that Brock Lesnar is officially working with the Triple H Paul Levesque-led WWE? And my answer to that is a resounding yes. Because remember, the very last time that we saw Brock Lesnar in the WWE, it was with Vince McMahon. Because remember, Brock Lesnar's last official WWE run was entirely under Vince McMahon's leadership. So even though, now this is where it might get a little murky for some people, a little bit foggy. Remember, even though Triple H was gaining more creative control behind the scenes, particularly by late 2022, still largely it was operated within the Vince McMahon ecosystem when it's all said and done. That's really the nicest way I can sum that up in a nutshell. Remember, Vince was back in the fold in 2023, and around that time you had the Endeavor merger, and Lesnar's last match was against Cody Rhodes at, conveniently, SummerSlam 2023, which happened during the period that Vince was still under extreme influence, especially when it came to top tier level talents like Brock Lesnar. So that kind of gets you caught up to speed. Of course, then all the legal stuff happened with Janelle Grant and her respected lawsuit and everything. And we saw how that pretty much has been ongoing with Vince McMahon. I bring all this up because, and boy, does this tie into public relations, media relations, and all that. That ties into SummerSlam, because I got to give a shout out to my boy, Julian Cannon. He was among the first, as far as I was concerned, that broke the news about WWE and future press conferences as the guys at Fightful, the Denise Salitos, the 401 Manias, the insert Wrestling Inc., insert. Yeah, going forward, ain't gonna be no more of those guys at the press conferences. Ain't gonna be no more of that. Well, I'm gonna tease you with that for now. But with all the stuff that was happening with Janelle Grant, remember Brock Lesnar's name had surfaced in there. Not to go all down that rabbit hole. I mean, we can definitely go down that rabbit hole more on a Monday night show. But I say all of that. I gave you all of that to basically go, wow, everything considered, yeah, we probably seen the last of Brock Lesnar in the WWE, huh? 2K Sports, they pretty much pulled all things Brock Lesnar. Even though his skin, his theme entrance, his move set, everything is there, but they had to hide it behind a code because of everything that was going on. Oh, and if you tried to play as Brock Lesnar, ooh, you try to unlock him, PC or whatever, your account gets flagged, you get banned. Now, you can get away making one from scratch and uploading it to the community center, but that's about as far as that is going to go. Of course, if you're playing your WWE Supercard, Brock Lesnar, yeah, they pretty much, you ain't pulling no Brock Lesnar. Either you got the previous tiers with Brock Lesnar, or that's it. So it's interesting how we had this full circle of storytelling kind of moment here, where, folks, we got ourselves a new WWE World Heavyweight Universal Champion, and his name is Cody Rhodes. For the second time in his career since he has been back with WWE for the past couple of years, Cody Rhodes has gold once again. And I got to tell you, I still feel a little bit, I don't know if bitter. I think that's too strong of a word, but I will say conflicted about the fact that Cody Rhodes has defeated John Cena, because you're looking at the fact that we got 4 months left of John Cena in the WWE, and you can't help but go, and literally myself, and shout out to friends of the show, colleagues of the show, we definitely all in our own unique way, in our own unique voices, we're going, Cena's got 4 months left. More specifically, 4 months left with this championship. They need to spice this up. WWE, they need to do everything in their power to really pick this up a notch, because, man, it's kind of fizzling out here a little bit. And if you've been checking me out on a regular basis, I've definitely been saying to you now more than ever, with these last couple of months left for Cena, oh, we definitely need to up the ante, because it just feels like WWE was in this weird, well, we're really kind of not sure where to go with this. And, well, you've already said that John Cena is going to ruin wrestling. You said this guy's agenda was to retire with that World Heavyweight Championship, force the WWE to make a new championship as a result of him walking out the door and retiring with that joint. Okay, I'm down for that. Let's cause a little anarchy. Let's cause a little mischief. Let's go. So the fact that they took the title off of Cena, and I gotta say, going back and watching SmackDown, and I kind of alluded to it on our Friday SmackDown post show, which was, man, we kind of did this in a little bit of a haste, as John Cena has basically all of a sudden, hallelujah, I've seen the light. Praise Jesus. I've seen the error of my wicked, wicked ways. How wrong of me. All these months I've been doing what I've been doing. I dropped to my knees and I just got to give a hallelujah. Jesus, good God Almighty, in Jesus Christ's name I pray, amen. I've seen the light. I mean, that just felt way too damn soon for me. I thought for sure there was going to be, honestly, I thought it was going to be a ruse. I thought we were going to see heel Cena surface when it counted the most. That's not what happened, though. It's not what happened in this match. I did enjoy seeing a conflicted Cody Rhodes. How much did Cody Rhodes want this? How far was Cody Rhodes going to go? How dirty and gritty was he going to get in order to become champion again? Because in order to do that, he was definitely going to have to tap into that nasty side. He definitely was going to have to get the job done by any means necessary. And I love seeing Cody Rhodes be very conflicted throughout this bout because it was almost as if, man, I've got to put down essentially a childhood hero of mine, even though they're just a handful of years apart. I think they are what, guys? Cody and Cena. Aren't they like about 10 years apart per se or whatever? But still, you can look up to somebody and idolize them, look at them as an idol, a big brother, and all that other good stuff, right? You can definitely go in that direction. So it was nice seeing how Cody Rhodes, his facial expressions, his body language, how he was moving through this match. And you're keeping in mind that this is a street fight. Yeah, and right when I was saying, yo, this is a street fight, right? They can pretty much do whatever, but the pinfall or the submission, it's got to happen inside the squared circle. And right as I was thinking that, about half the match was already in the books. And then they decided to take the action outside the ring. And that's where things had really got fun. I enjoyed seeing the two guys fight in the crowd section. Speaking of the crowd section, there is a hilarious video that is floating around on social media. I didn't want to share it because we didn't reach out to the people ahead of time. But there's a hilarious video that's floating around where real fans at the MetLife Stadium, bunch of girls, they pretty much was pulling on each other's weaves and all that shit. And you're just going, wait a minute. You know, y'all pay good money for them seats. I'm sure security and everybody else really don't want to kick y'all asses out unless they absolutely have to. Like, well, what is going on here? So, look, I've been to quite a few wrestling events and I ain't never seen no crazy shit like that before. So, whatever was going on with that, guess is as good as mine. But I'm gonna reach out to the person that has shared that video, see if they can share a little bit of info as far as what the hell was going on there. Maybe we can follow up on Monday's show. But it was nice seeing Cena and Cody. Nice little brawl, damn good brawl, going around the arena. I love when the action had went under the underneath the stage, you know, where they got all the wiring and pyro mechanics and all that jazz. And you're like, where are these guys? Is there any way we can get a camera on them to see what's going on? Where the hell are they? And finally, we see Cena ascend in the center stage where Cody usually does his thing as he's coming up and all that with the bright spotlight and everything. And Cena's got him over his shoulders and then just hits the AA on his ass right there on that metal ramp. Ooh. Then he's trying to figure out how to drag him back into the ring. He decides to just pick him up and everything. And why at this moment, I have no clue. I looked over at my wife. I said, you know, if they ever decided they wanted to do a Predator remake or a sequel, you know, John Cena would be pretty good. She's like, huh? I say, I know it's random, but I don't know. Work with me here. I just started thinking about Predator for some reason. Like, come on. Like, don't you see it? He'd be good in that movie. Or how about if he played Arnold Schwarzenegger's son, huh? They both team up, kicking the alien's ass. How about it? Am I onto something there with that idea? Let me know. Let me know. But I know some of you guys are probably like, Lee, leave the past alone, man. We've seen them butcher our classics. No, I think they would actually do pretty good. I think they would actually do pretty good with this one, especially if it's a strong enough script where Schwarzenegger is like, I will do it. And, yeah, there you go. Nice Super Avalanche attitude adjustment, Super Avalanche. What's that? Cody Cutter. Oh my God, these guys were just all over the place. Double A on the announce table. Uh, Cena was in rare form. Man, he even hit us with a cold red. I can't remember the last time I saw Cena do a cold red. If he's done it since he's been back in the WWE this go round, y'all need to refresh my memory. But I popped really hard seeing him bust out some stuff that he hasn't done in a good minute. Nice classic matchup. And you know the best part that I liked about this match? I liked the fact that whoever the producers were for this, they made sure that true to the word of, hey, as far as interference, ain't got to worry about that. Oh, you think there's going to be a Travis Scott? No, you ain't got to worry about that. It's just going to be these two guys. And I know some people are going, well, what about The Rock? Maybe The Rock. Because I know that's one idea that was floating around was, well, what if they're going to flip? What if, okay, John Cena flips back to being a babyface, but what if Cody Rhodes flips and he becomes a heel? What about that? See, here's my problem with that in a nutshell. Here's my problem with that. And this is the dilemma that WWE is in right now. This is the dilemma. Cody Rhodes is in the John Cena phase. Now, what do I mean by that? In a nutshell, until you have a true successor, a true babyface successor that hits all those age demographics, is able to bring in and print that money, okay? Unless you got that in place, then and only then can you go ahead and turn Cody heel. Until that moment, Cody's going to be remaining babyface for the very near future. But somebody that I'm eyeballing that looks very, very promising as a future face of the company. You've heard me talk about him time and time again. And if you're watching the web stream, I might look like I'm having Tourette's or something, but you know who I'm doing. Art, you know who I'm doing right now. That guy for sure. You do him just right, and maybe let him chase after a heel Cody Rhodes. I'm just saying. You guys can sound off. Let me know what you think about that. I did not check out the kickoff for SummerSlam. So if there is anything noteworthy you guys want to bring to me and the chat's attention, those that's going to be checking this out for on demand, sound off, let us know. I will definitely follow up with comments for the web stream. So check out the comments, particularly on YouTube. I'll sound off little bullet points of interest and everything. Let's go right into the show. I will mention what's going on with the future of WWE press conferences, particularly after their pay-per-views are over. I will mention a lot more about that, and we'll get into the nitty-gritty on that in just a hot little bit. I think a lot of you guys will be quite pleased. Others may be a little bit disappointed. Really depends. We'll see how it goes. All right. MetLife Stadium, by the way, we got an appearance by Stephanie McMahon. She did a quick drive-by later in the night to let us know that the total attendance for SummerSlam weekend was 113,722. The biggest, what is this? I'm trying to figure out the right thing. The biggest number in SummerSlam history, I think is the number that she was putting out there. So that's pretty good. By the way, crowd at the MetLife Stadium, a lot more energy than what was going on last night. Last night, it seemed like they were kind of glad to be there, but it just kind of seemed a little off with the crowd. Tonight, they brought their energy. I don't know what happened. Your guess is as good as mine, but they brought the energy tonight. Rhea Ripley taking on Io Sky and Naomi. Triple threat match for that women's championship. Yo, can we just, and I don't mean to jump ahead a little bit. I really don't. But can we all admit that had watched night 2 of SummerSlam, can we all admit that this triple threat match and the Becky Lynch, Lyra, Valkyria match, within reason, can we admit that quality-wise, these were definitely better than the Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton match from night 1? Can we at least admit that to one another? Okay? I'm willing to admit that if you are. Nice way to open up night 2 of SummerSlam. These girls put on a classic. I appreciate the fact that Naomi came out with her father, and I did not know that he is apparently a famous guitarist and all that. And apparently back in the day, he used to play with Kool and the Gang, played for 80s, 90s pop icon Taylor Dane. I'm going, wait a minute, what? Like, Naomi's father is who? And he did her entrance as she came out. He was just ripping on the guitar, shredding and everything. She was jamming. Both of them were jamming. I thought that was a really cool moment. Naomi had to have been totally geeked out for that. She just had to be on cloud nine to be able to share that really cool moment. Okay, look, was it a WrestleMania moment? No, but sure as hell was an awesome SummerSlam moment. No doubt about that. Naomi retaining her women's championship. Final moments of this matchup. Rhea Ripley hitting a riptide on Io from the second rope. Rhea goes in for the cover, but then Naomi immediately interrupts that pin attempt, rolls up Rhea Ripley, grabs a handful of tights that the referee does not see, unfortunately, gets the victory that way to retain her championship. Thoughts on this match? All the girls in this one, fantastic job. Really hit it out of the park. And of the 3 women's matches that we got from this weekend, I gotta just say this one was exceptionally good. I got to give it up to them. Really hit it out of the park. I can't sing enough praises. I still love the fact that when it was all said and done, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, you still have this unresolved. Okay, who's really the better one here, right? Who's really the better women's wrestler right here? So they still have that unresolved issue that's going on there. And the main gist of this story as well is the fact that for Rhea Ripley, the frustrations, right? Because Rhea Ripley has come this close a couple of times in sealing the deal. And for whatever respected reason, Rhea has not checked off every single box. And I love what's happening here with the Rhea Ripley character because, it's the totality of this. You would just like to think that, man, Rhea Ripley, she's coming so close, but man, she keeps, when it counts the most, she keeps coming up short. That can eventually do something to a person's psyche. So I'm very interested to see what's going to be happening with Rhea's character in the coming weeks and everything. Is she still going to be on that whole, hey, may the best woman win? Hey, it's nothing but good competitive spirit. That's all it is. Yeah, I'm not about the fun and games. I'm about the competition, but hey, I do have a lot of respect for you. Is all that going to just go out the window? And Rhea Ripley is essentially going to go, you know what? I'm going to do what I'm going to do best because I tell you what, when I was tuning out the fans and I was just taking care of my damn business, I was on freaking point. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the future programming for her character in the coming weeks. Meanwhile, Naomi to continue to be the women's champion. It's a great move by WWE. what is she now, 37 years of age? I mean, she is just starting to scratch the surface with this caution character. And I gotta tell you, as long as I have been watching Naomi, from her evolution to the whole Brodus Clay and the Funkadactyls and all that other craziness, it's been one hell of a journey. It really, really has. And I sincerely mean that. I never really got a chance to say this until now, but to really just take a step back and just think about the evolution of the Naomi character. I'll be honest with you guys. I remember there was a time where I looked at Naomi very early in her WWE career, and I legit, I was not sure. I was not sure if she was going to make it long term. I wasn't sure if she was really women's champion material. Legit, like I was not sure. But I'll tell you this, early on, I saw something in her, and I saw something that just needed some fine tuning. I felt that it was going to take maybe just a little bit of time, but that patience was going to be key. I wasn't quite sure where it was going to go. I wasn't quite sure if it was going to maybe take her to championship material and all that. But and even when she won previous championships, not for nothing, like you're like, hey, awesome, but I don't know, there's just something about the way things have played out and this new change in her character, the fact that it seems to me, and I don't know if she would agree with this assessment, but it seems like for the very first time in her career, particularly in her WWE career, she's just going, you know what? I'm going to be loose with it. I'm just going to have me some fun and I'm going to lean in on it. Cuz baby, what the hell have I got to lose? That's almost how it kind of seems. And not for nothing, I remember seeing a little bit of her work in TNA wrestling when she was wrestling as Trinity. And I didn't even see breadcrumbs of what would ultimately become this caution character gimmick that she's got going on. So it's great to see her hold on to that championship because she's been on a roll as of late. So obviously she's going to be going to Clash at the Paris, and she'll be defending that championship against Stephanie Vicaire. Oh, that's going to be a nice back and forth between those girls, those programs, and everything. And look, in regards to EO Sky, well, kind of interesting what's going on right here. I mean, EO Sky, she'll be all right when it's all said and done. EO Sky, she will be just fine. She just recently kind of got back together there with the Kabuki Warriors, and I don't think we have yet to really see her interact with Bailey. So maybe that could potentially happen down the pipeline. If you want to maybe circle back to Rhea and Io one more time, you definitely could do that. You definitely could do that. Question is that the direction that WWE takes, or do you maybe circle back to those girls later on? But Io, she's going to be just fine. By the way, as far as that match goes, I want to look at the official time card. How was y'all Sunday, by the way? I hope your Sunday was good before all the festivities had began. For me, I can't complain. I kicked on back. A little bit of cleaning around the house. Actually ended up playing a game of Magic the Gathering, the actual card game, physical card games. I had a couple of decks that had came in the mail. I sat down and I was playing with the wife, and the wife actually kicked my ass. I had the shittiest luck. I was not able to draw any land, and she was able to kick my ass. For that match, we are looking at 16 minutes and 20 seconds. Meanwhile, the six-pack tables, ladders, and chairs match for the WWE Tag Team titles. Wyatt 6 retaining the tag titles over Andrade and Rey Fenix. DIY, Fraxiom, Motor City Machine Guns, and the Street Profits. 16 minutes. Look, this match, this was a fun car crash of a match. This was one of those just put logic to the side, just relax your relax your conscience, right? Relax your mind, let your conscience be free. Okay? You're rolling with the LEE. Come on now. You know how we do it. No, seriously. This was one, just put the remote down, just relax. This was a fun car crash of a match. I mean, even the women got involved in this. It was totally badass to see Candice LeRae at one point climb up on a ladder, and she's trying her damnedest to grab the titles for her husband and Tommaso Ciampa. And then all of a sudden, B Fab gets in there. B Fab decides, yeah, we're about done with you. And like next thing you know, Candice goes crashing outside the ring onto a ladder that was propped up, I think, on the announcer's table or something like that. And it was hanging to the side of the ring apron. I think that was maybe the setup. But man, she went crashing through that bad boy. I'm going, ooh, I hope she is okay. Good God Almighty. Like, whoo. It was an insane spot. Let me tell you, it was an insane spot. WWE's really been trying with BFAB. They've really been trying to give her more opportunities. I know some people are like scratching their heads going, but does she really? Like, this really don't make no sense. And look, I've seen the woman, I've seen her promos, stuff that she's doing from the performance center and all that. She's coming along. Her progress is coming along. I see something that is definitely there. It's just one of those things where got to give her some time to kind of flush it all out. I don't know how much longer WWE will have that patience, but I do appreciate the fact that they are kind of realizing, yo, we got something here with this woman. She's got a really cool look. We need to kind of lay into that a little bit and see where that goes. Try to flush that character out more. If we are to believe the reports that's been out there the past couple of months that a lot of wrestlers have been going to bat for her and all that, then it explains why she keeps getting these opportunities and everything. I thought for the role in which she was involved, she did pretty solid. Nikki Cross, solid as always. Not too much of an impact like the other two. Not too much of a impact as Scarlett had in the match there with Karrion versus Sami Zayn, but just enough. You notice what she's doing in there and everything. This was a crash test dummy spot galore fest. That is what this was in a nutshell. An entire stunt show. Okay? You can just look at this and go, stunt dogs! Woo! I mean, that's literally what this was and everything. So, solid. I really can't say any more, nothing less. I wish, if I had a bone of contention, I wish more people would have been trying to go for the belts. It just seemed like at many times, so many people were just so focused on damaging each other. I really didn't see enough people really going for the belts. But that match is what it was. From there, the women's Intercontinental title match, Becky Lynch defending against Lyra Valkyria. So, Becky Lynch got some new music. Speaking of music, for those that did not watch Night 2 yet, one thing that I found to be a little bit hilarious, and I think those of you that had watched know what I'm getting ready to say here. Maybe you don't, but we'll see. Did anybody else notice how when every single tag team in that Spot Galore joint for the tag titles came out, all the music sounded exactly the same? Like, just go back and listen to those entrances. Just close your eyes, and from the moment the first team comes out, just close your eyes and listen to the music that plays. Each team that comes out, it almost sounds like one long track that is essentially just bleeding into another, with the exception of when the Wyatt 6 came out. When the Wyatt 6 came out, all of a sudden you had this 9-inch nails kind of vibe that was going on, right? Because that's honestly, every time I hear their song, I'm thinking Trent Reznor, Nine Inch Nails. That's just the vibe that it got. Okay. I don't know if that is a God, I'm trying to think of the guys that's at play right now, the music production company. Is that Rebel Pro? Is it Rebel Pro guys? I don't know if they did that or what, but if that was them, they did good. They did good. But yeah, all the music for the tag teams sounds exactly the same. Becky Lynch's new theme sounded pretty good. Sounded pretty good. I kind of miss the old theme. I would need to hear it a little bit more. This new theme that she's got. I'm wondering if WWE has that posted just yet. I didn't see anything on social media, so there might be some bootlegs that's on social media, particularly YouTube right about now. But I would imagine before the week is out, we're probably gonna get a more official, polished version of that. Remember, this women's Intercontinental match, Lyra wins. Hey, great. She's a champion. Lyra loses. Well, she can never challenge for the championship again. So as long as Becky Lynch is the champion. I had a little bit of a problem with this matchup. For those of you that were with me for night one and how critical I was of the Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton match, trust me, I definitely was kicking back, taking notes, taking mental notes, okay? And if you notice so far, I'm doing a pretty good job not really referring to notes. Most of the stuff is in my head and everything. But for this one, it's the same problem yet again. It is the same problem yet again. Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa, Dominic Mysterio, AJ Styles, John Cena, Cody Rhodes. All of these guys. You want to go talk about some of the cats from night one? We can even bring up some of the names from night one. But home in on the names that I've given to you so far. What do they all have in common? What do they all have in common? Even Tiffany Stratton. What do they all have in common? Well, from the moment that they come out and it comes to their entrance, they know how to play up to the crowd, right? Lyra is not really leaning heavily into that. And this was a case right here where you hear the crowd tonight going into this match. They're doing the woos. They wanted to woo right along with Lyra Valkyria. And all she basically does is just power walk her way on out there, not really playing up to the crowd. Okay, well, that's the entrance. What the hell? Let's just get right to the match. Okay, all right. But keep that in the back of your head. Lyra did good when it came to selling. I will give her that. Unlike what happened with Tiffany Stratton and Jade, Lyra did sell a decent amount in this match against Becky Lynch. My only bone of contention, she did not let out enough screams and moans when she was getting hit by certain foreign objects, such as a big old monkey wrench. My God, have you ever? I mean, sometimes I just look at this from a production standpoint and I go, and then from a prop standpoint as well, and I go, okay, well, have you ever been hit by a monkey wrench? And most people would probably go, no. Okay, well, have you ever had something like a hammer or a monkey wrench drop on your foot? I mean, if you haven't, it's cool, but like you need to know that when a hammer or a monkey wrench falls on your foot, that bitch hurts. I should know from over my years of doing some home improvement. That shit hurts. Okay. Now, just imagine if, say, maybe somebody walked up to you and maybe it's not a monkey wrench, but maybe somebody sucker punches you in the gut. And they do it pretty hard. 9 times out of 10, you're going to go, oh, and, you're going to be down on the ground and, you're going to be doing all that. And for me, a lot of the offense that was coming in there from Becky Lynch, because Becky was going ballistic with all the foreign weapons that she was able to find, yeah, Lyra might have been doing a good job selling the impact, but she, it was like, it's okay for you to, probably maybe twice during this whole bout. I can really recall her trying to sell, but like, yeah, she's not. And look, that's not really the fault on her. She's still young. That's really on the producer that did this match and all of that good stuff. Lyra struggled in setting up the table. I would have thought that rehearsals that would have knocked that out, but there was a lot of times where she was struggling. She even struggled when she had a chair that was wrapped around. First, it was kind of wrapped around her neck, and you're kind of thinking, "Ooh, wonder what Becky's going to go for here." Because if she goes for the move we think she's going to go for, oh, it's lights out. Lyra might be spitting up blood. But instead, the chair kind of somehow maneuvers this way halfway across Lyra's body. And so you're going, oh, so they're going for the more safer approach. Oh, okay. And Lyra kind of seemed like she was struggling to figure out how exactly that chair needed to be around her and everything. This was really Becky carrying the hell out of Lyra in this matchup. As far as I was concerned, that's what really this was all about. Now, if some people, the way they're going to spin this, Lyra showed grit. Lyra showed tenacity. Lyra, if you want to make the argument, boy, that Lyra sure can take an ass kicking. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. Because just when you thought with the kendo sticks, the steel chairs, all that, just when you thought it was enough, and Becky Lynch was just hitting all her signature moves, and you're like, yeah, this match is over. Somehow Lyra kept kicking out. Becky damn near lost her mind towards the end of this match, and she decided, you know what? Let me just go for a crowbar. And boy, was it a big ass crowbar. She was about to go up the dome of Lyra's when all of a sudden, wham, from behind, Bayley. We kept hearing, oh, Bayley, she doesn't have anything to do at SummerSlam. Translation, Bayley's going to be at SummerSlam. Like, we already knew that was going to happen. Bayley grabs the crowbar, to which Becky's going, what are you doing? Nah, man, like all the crap that she's put me through, all the crap that she's put you through. Nah, this heifer got it coming. Let me do my thing. She's got it coming. Better yet, you got the crowbar. Go ahead, you do it. You know I'm right. Go ahead, do it. Becky could not do it as she tossed the crowbar. Becky takes the opportunity to wrap up a steel chain around her fist, tries to take a swing at Bayley. Bayley counters that, gets in a couple of licks of her own, beats her ass around the ring. Action goes back inside the ring where Bayley misses a running knee, but Lyra Valkyria is back up, hits a leg drop. That pretty much sends Becky Lynch through a table. And a little bit later on, both of the girls try to hit finishers on one another. Lynch and who is it? Lynch and I'm having a brain fart. Lynch and Lyra. Forgive me there. Both moves end up getting countered. Bayley ends up getting up on the top rope and tries to take a swing at Becky, but instead inadvertently hits Lyra. I mean, knocks her silly as that chain kind of came back into the mix there. Kind of an interesting tell of the tape. Becky Lynch seizes the opportunity, comes in with a manhandle slam to retain her women's Intercontinental Championship. So that is it for Lynch. She cannot challenge for that championship. So as long as Becky Lynch is the champion, Lyra Valkyria cannot challenge for that Women's Intercontinental Championship. So as long as Becky Lynch is the champion. So this is kind of weird, this match, because like on the one hand, you're looking at this match and you're going, okay, man, this was one hell of a awesome fight between these two girls. I mean, they were really duking it out here with one another. You're looking at the way in which the match was laid out, and you definitely had some really cool spots sandwiched in between and everything, especially when you're trying to show off the tenacity, the ferociousness that's in Becky Lynch, but at the same time, you're trying to have for Lyra, you're trying to build up her toughness, you're trying to build up her grit and all of that. So on the one hand, all of that was really good and trying to really help establish these girls in the match, especially early on. Bailey's involvement, I think that was a foregone conclusion when it was all said and done. You maybe could make an argument this match went a little bit too long because this match went 25 minutes. This match went 25 minutes. This definitely should have been trimmed down. I would say this should have been trimmed down by maybe about 10, give or take. But, those to the side, decent match for what it was worth, but definitely needed to be trimmed. Definitely some areas there that needed to be trimmed. So Becky moves on, and the hostility there between Lyra and Bailey, well, now it's really going up to another level. Bailey just out there. Was she really, as far as good intentions? Kind of seems like so. But now if you really wanted to push Lyra over the edge, and I really hope WWE strongly considers the babyface run of Lyra has been a bust and they decide to go in a heel route with her, especially if you're trying to really cement Bailey being back in the good graces of fans this go around. Not that she isn't already, but if you wanted to kind of push that narrative a little bit more, it'll be really interesting to see what happens on Raw this coming Monday night, see where things land with these women. Next up, for the United States Championship steel cage match, Solo Sikoa retaining over Jacob Fatu. 12 minutes, 40 seconds. Didn't feel like 12 minutes and 40 seconds. Felt a little short. I kind of wish some of that no disqualification, no count out last chance match that we just talked about. I wish some of those minutes could have been fed to Jacob and Solo right here. MFTs, as we knew, they were going to be a factor in this one. Played out exactly how I thought it was going to play out. Jim Uso coming out there, trying to help balance things out. He could only do but so much, however. Final moments of this one, you had the steel cage door open up, and Solo Sikoa was trying to go for the exit, but freaking Fatu, he pretty much was right there. Leave it to Talatonga to slam the cage door on Fatu's head, and that pretty much had helped Sikoa escape to retain his championship. Not much to really digest in this matchup. It's interesting because when we went over match predictions, previewing predictions, and we got to this match, I said to you guys, of all the matches I'm looking at for this card, this one should be a really good sleeper hit of a match. This one should be really, really good. Right? This should be a really good, strong coming out for Jacob Fatu and all of that. But it never quite got to that level. Like, even before all the interference had started, it never, like, once the interference was inserted, sadly, between these two guys, it never quite got to the level that it was supposed to go to. It really didn't. And I dare say you could even make an argument that you really weren't invested in the match until you saw other people that were kind of coming out there. So I don't have a problem with Solo Sikoa retaining the championship, but it just kind of feels like, maybe they could have somehow done this another way. Maybe they could have done it another way. So as I'm mentioning all that, one thing that just kind of annoyed the hell out of me, and that's the fact that you got Talatonga, 7 feet tall. You know, he may not be, as far as width wise, weight wise, he may not be a Big Show, Paul White. He may not be a Andre the Giant. You know, he may not be a big red monster Kane, but he still has size and height in his favor. I'm not saying you had to have this guy rip a cage door and all that, but you know, it definitely would have been nice had, you know, you look at that guy. I don't know about you all, but I'm looking at that guy. I'm going, that's one big, tall son of a bitch. I'm looking at him wondering, what is he going to do? Like, seriously, what exactly is he going to do? Because when you have that type of height, you can pretty much do whatever the hell you want. Heaven be damned. You can pretty much do whatever you want. So I was looking to Talatonga to do more, you know, more things, really get more involved rather than just a bitch ass taking a steel cage door and slamming it on somebody's head. You know, I was honestly, hey, look, as big as you are, and Solo Sikoa says, Tala, I need you in here right now. Ain't no referee. What referee is going to stop Tala? Tala's pretty much just going to take one hand, push that referee out the way, knock their ass out. Okay? He going to come up there. He going to do what he need to do. You know, maybe not pull a Kane or a Big Show, rip the steel cage door off. But, you know, if it was me, I would have had the padlock and the chain. I'd have had Tala just tug at that joint and then just go, then, oh my God, the strength of this guy. Oh my God. Well, I mean, this guy's a giant and, you know, oh my God, you know, sell the hell out of that. He gets in there, gets his hands on Jacob Fatu, just destroys the hell out of him. I was looking for some shit like that I could really, really sink my teeth into because, look, if you're Solo Sakoa, you're a shorty, and you got a giant in your back pocket, I mean, you should be like doing that shit like Uno. You should be like, huh, yeah, you think you down to that last card, huh? You think you about to win that shit, huh? Yeah, wait a minute, boom, draw four. Like, Solo Sikoa should be rolling like that with a giant such as Tala Tonga when all else fails, okay? When Tama Tonga, Chimichanga, and all the other Tongas, when all of them else fail, push come to shove, you got the ace. I really have not been feeling how Tala Tonga has unfolded here in recent weeks. You know, my challenge to WWE, you guys got to do better with this guy. You guys got to really do better with this guy. Post-match, Uso gets back in there, taking the fight to JC Mateo and Tonga Loa. They're pretty much thrown inside the ring where Fatu mops the floor with them, does a moonsault off the top of the cage, takes them both out. Great. We're showing off that Fatu has this great athleticism and he can do all this crazy shit. Well, we should have seen more of that crazy shit during the match with Solo because the crowd definitely kind of went to sleep here on this one. So obviously this feud continues and hopefully WWE can do some really good fine tuning to really crank this up a notch or two even more. Still some decent stuff from Fatu. Don't get me wrong. Some decent stuff from Fatu. Some decent stuff from Solo Sikoa. But the way this particular match was laid out with all the participants involved, it could have been so much better. It should have been better. Intercontinental Championship. Dominik Mysterio retaining successfully against AJ Styles. Coming in at 10 minutes and 45 seconds. By the way, throughout this matchup, this event, we did see a couple of people that were in attendance. Tyrese Halliburton. And if you've been playing your WWE Supercard, you know that you got an opportunity to snag an unhinged tier level card of him. Hopefully you were able to get two of those bad boys and pro that joint. Hey, that card came in clutch for me early on. I was actually able to get two cards and pro the hell out of that joint, like real fast from the draft board. But he was in the house. We already told you how Stephanie was in the house as well. Drewski was back for another round. And also, the Dudley boys. Dudley boys were in the house. Hardys were in the house as well. WWE did kind of a piss poor job in not mentioning the fact that these two respected teams are going to be facing each other at TNA Wrestling's Bound for Glory. If there was ever a time to go Bound for Glory, hey, right? Because where they did the placement for the two veteran tag teams, they did that placement during the tag title match tonight. They did it during the tag title match. So if there's ever a time to promote TNA Wrestling, right, that's good that they're in the house, right? You're trying to say, hey, if anybody knows a thing or two about TLC, these two veteran teams, yes, I agree with you 1,000%. But how about we show some love to that TNA Wrestling Bound for Glory joint that's going to be coming up, I believe, on October 12th, where one final time the Dudleys will be taking on the Hardys. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. That wasn't cool. I did not like that whatsoever. Anyway. Intercontinental Championship match. Dominik Mysterio retaining over AJ Styles. 10 minutes and I think I said 35 seconds or whatever. I love how Dominik Mysterio tried to pull a Eddie Guerrero. He had a steel chair at one point, and he basically tossed that bad boy into the hands of AJ Styles, laid flat on his back instantly. AJ Styles sees what's going on, and he's like, oh, well, two can play that game. He puts the chair over his neck and then, sets himself up to be laying on the ground. Referee turns around, see what's going on, and Dominic is like, wait a minute, right? Because the referee, I guess he sees what's going on, and he's about to throw the match out when Dominic's going, no, he's cheating, and AJ just no sells, gets up. What do you mean cheating? Like, you're cheating. And pretty much the match had continued afterwards. Referee ended up ducking a swing which had set up Mysterio to boot Styles upside the head, ultimately setting up the frog splash. Boom, getting the retain that way on the phenomenal one. Look, solid match, all said and done. I was expecting a little bit more. I got to be honest with you. I was expecting a little bit more from these two guys. And didn't quite live up to what I was expecting. I felt this was going to be a dark horse match of the night, like a sleeper hit. And it didn't quite live up to that expectation. Now, was it better than the Jacob Fatu solo Sakoa match? Yes, it definitely was better. Definitely. Because like that Jacob Fatu solo Sakoa, I would definitely put that one in a C range. And as far as Dominic and AJ, I probably would put them more at about a B minus range, give or take. But it was what it was. So it's all good. Hey, look, you dom, you're happy, right? If you AJ, you definitely are happy as well. And then of course we've got the WWE World Heavyweight Universal Championship. John Cena losing that bad boy to Cody Rhodes. My God, we are just flying on time. We're doing phenomenal here. My wife gave me a challenge. She said, you're getting ready to do your transfer this fall, and you got to make sure that with the shows, you try to do your best to tighten things up. She knows I got a mixer here that has a timer, although it's a recording timer. But she gave me a really cool Superman clock, and she's like, you need to put this on the wall. That way you'll always know what time it is, no matter what. So you can, and we're doing pretty good. We're only 59 minutes into our damn post show. If you haven't voted yet, vote. Sound off. Let me know what you thought about tonight's night 2 SummerSlam event. Give me your comments as well. Let me know what you thought about the event overall. We'll read some reactions that's floating around on social media in a hot little bit. See if we can get some early takes on how people experienced this event when it was all said and done. So, street fight match here for this World Heavyweight Championship. Man. So, we already talked a little bit, we went in length about the match here. I'm just going to look. I think I counted almost 10 attitude adjustments in this damn thing that John Cena was able to connect with, at least 10. And I think I might have lost count after that. But like the insane, like this was a good match, right? But the insane fucking amount of kickouts after, 10, at least 10 attitude adjustments. Ridiculous spots, okay? Because some of these attitude adjustments, I'm going to give you an attitude adjustment over here on the announcer's table. I'm going to give you an attitude adjustment over here on the metal ramp. I'm going to give you a attitude adjustment from the second rope. I'm going to give you a attitude adjustment off of the top third rope. I'm going to give you not one, but 2 attitude adjustments back to back and kick out, kick out. It was just ridiculous. The amount of shit that was going on here. It was on another level. And then, of course, when John Cena was kicking out, I had a hearty pop when at one point the crowd started chanting Super Cena. Oh my God, you guys gave me flashbacks saying that shit. I still remember, they're not around anymore, but I still remember some old podcasters from back in the day that used to do, and you'll probably be able to figure out who I'm talking about when I say this, but they used to do like 2-hour, 3-hour shows, ripping the fuck out of John Cena every single time he was winning with these pay-per-views, walking out as the champion. And I remember back then people were not only saying Super Cena, they were saying the John Cena show, and they would just spend 2-3 hours ripping Cena. Heaven forbid you had a different opinion. I promise you, you were not brought back to that show if your opinion did not match up to the host. Like, you were never seen or heard from again. Bruce Blitz is who I'm talking about, by the way. Bruce Blitz. I wonder what became of Bruce Blitz. I sometimes wonder what happened with that guy. I know he was having some YouTube trouble because the level of hate and disdain that he had for John Cena, it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And so he was just being bombarded with hate messages, the whole 9 yards. I think last I heard, it's been a long time. I don't know what's going on with the guy now, but I remember almost 10 years ago, the guy just decided, I'm going subscription based only. And so he took everything to his website behind a paywall. That's what ultimately happened with him. But the level of ridiculousness that was in this match with all the kickouts and everything. Jay the God, what's up, brother? What's up, brother? Peace be unto you as well, my friend. I appreciate you, man. Much love as always. Love you, man. Love you. It's crazy, man. I'm just trying to figure out though, like, if there's anything additional I want to say in regards to this Cena Cody Rhodes match. It was good. Like, if you can get past the level of stupidness that was going on in this, because at many times it definitely felt quite silly. And if you could just strip that away, just take that, put that to the side, and just look at this match for all it is worth. Is that a mosquito? I hope that was not a mosquito. The last thing you guys need to see me do is like freaking out because there's now a mosquito in here. Final moments of this matchup, I will at least give you that much. I'll hook you up with at least that much because we already talked a great deal about this match and everything, kind of at the top and everything. So setting it up here, looking at my notes, shot to Cena's face there. It kind of looked like as they were both going at it, throwing a couple of haymakers at one another. Cena manages to pull off a STF with the rope. It gets reversed. Rhodes comes back. He hits not one, but two crossroads. Insane shit right here. Because Rhodes was just like, what the hell do I have to do? I just hit this guy with two crossroads and he kicked out. What the hell? Rhodes is then looking at that WWE championship and he decides, I'm going to go ahead and use this motherfucker. Because it seems like at this point, I really got to dig down deep and I got to do whatever is necessary to get the job done here. So he allows Cena to get up, tries to hit him with the belt, but he misses. Cena hits another attitude adjustment. I mean, this shit was being spammed out like candy. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. Those double AAs, it was James double A's. It was just getting woo. So then another near fall. Table gets set up. Slim Jim table. Boy, the product placements. How about the product placements for this? Did you guys see the ridiculous amount of product placements that was going on in this? I mean, within the first 15 minutes, WWE is brought to you by Drumstick. You know, crunchy, sweet, delicious. You know, get yourself a drumstick. And it's like, I was ready to take a hit of whatever liquor was in the house every single time I was hearing all this plug-in about drumsticks. I mean, the subliminal messaging, it is real. It is real. You're minding your own damn business. You don't want a drumstick. But by the time WWE gets done with your ass, all of a sudden, hey, honey, I'm gonna go hop in the car real quick. I'm just gonna go down the street and get a drumstick. You want something? You want something? I mean, seriously, the product placement in this joint, it's ridiculous. Now that I'm thinking about it, there was even a Wheatley vodka LED joint that was going on all along the ringside, and like as I'm watching that, I'm literally going, whooping John Cena's ass never felt so good. Wheatley, so good I drink it neatly. Trying to become a WWE World Heavyweight Champion. It takes a lot of work. Wheatley, so good I drink it neatly. What you gonna do when you kick out of 10 attitude adjustments? I'll tell you what, you're gonna keep on trucking, baby. Wheatley, so good I drink it neatly. The product placement galore, man. Seriously, it was just insane. Anyway, table gets loaded up. Rhodes reverses a super attitude adjustment, turns it into a Cody cutter through the table. Kind of looks like at this point, both of the guys went through the table per se. Cena really, really struggled. He was reaching for the middle rope. Cody looking on. I like not Spawn with the line of the night. Not Spawn. He's like, that's not subliminal. That's in your face messaging. It probably is, man. I mean, shit. I'm on my own. I mean, look. Yeah, can we all be in agreement? They getting us drunk. They getting us all fat as fuck. I mean, my God, we got Papa John's. We got Slim Jims. We got booze. We got drumsticks. We got Wingstop. I mean, shit. And then we got the nerve to promote a joint during SummerSlam, mind you, of Triple H at the White House for this new initiative, Make America Fit Again. Well, if you want to start, brother, you better get rid of all that fucking greasy ass. I mean, seriously. That shit. Oh, God, I am dead. Y'all killing me tonight. I love it. Anyway. So Cena's struggling on that middle rope. He's trying to come to his feet. Cody Rhodes, very conflicted, very, very conflicted. He gives him the John Cena salute, not in a mocking way. It was in a respectful way. And then he decides, you know what? I need to take this motherfucker out. Like, I need to hit him with a crossroads. And it kind of seemed like that third time was definitely the trick. My God, at least 10 AAs and at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably 7 Cody cutters when it was all said and done. Maybe a little more than that. Spam galore. But a good match if you can get past it. Again, good match if you can get past it and everything. So, post-match, Cena being very classy, handing the championship to Cody Rhodes. Cody can't believe it. They embrace. Cena saying something and Cody's breaking down, crying. At this point, I'm going, maybe somebody's going to turn here. Maybe it's going to be Cody. Cody's going to be like, ha, bitch, kick him in the nads and, maybe that's going to be it. No. Very classy the way it looks like it's about to end. And you just go, wow, so this is how it ends. With less than 4 months left of John Cena and this retirement tour, this is how it ends. Like, what the hell? Cody rolls out with his championship. Cena's standing there in the middle of the ring. He's looking kind of disappointed. He's saying to the crowd, well, hey, I tried. I'm sorry, guys. Like, you're reading his lips, and you're kind of seeing what is going on here. You're going, okay, wow, so we're going to end the pay-per-view like this. This is how it's going off the air. When all of a sudden we hear that eerie guitar riff that belongs to Brock Lesnar. He is back. Cena looks like he has seen a freaking ghost. As Brock Lesnar, nice full beard, hair's in a ponytail. He's got little sides out. I told my girl, I said, back in the day, I used to wear my hair like that. She goes, yeah? I said, yeah, unfortunately, I had a decent amount of guys that would look at the back of my head, and then when they would run to the front, they realized I was a dude. Fuck! And they go running back the other way. So eventually, I stopped wearing my hair like that. It's like, you couldn't tell that behind me? Like, I had to, I don't know. Anyway, it happens. It happens. Brock Lesnar gets in there. John Cena knows what time it is. He starts trying to take a swing at Brock, but Brock, much too fast, sets up Cena for the F5, lays his ass out, and that is pretty much how we ended SummerSlam, with Brock Lesnar returning to the WWE, laying out John Cena, and I guess furthermore re-cementing, if that's the word you want to use, I'll use it for tonight, John Cena as a baby face for the rest of the way, I guess. It's kind of interesting because when I stop and think about it, now it's kind of going logistics-wise. Remember how I said to you guys in regards to Bill Goldberg? Well, apparently per PW Insider's Mike Johnson, shout out to him, that WWE never talked to Bill Goldberg about SummerSlam, that SummerSlam was never, ever up for discussion. Never up for discussion. Now, it almost kind of makes sense, because if this was their plan all along, right? Now, some of you guys may say, well, Lee, not for nothing, but you could have had Goldberg involved in night 1 of SummerSlam. That wouldn't have interfered with John Cena and Cody Rhodes. To that, I say, maybe they just didn't want to continue to deal with the fucking man because he's a headache. They just wanted to hurry up, just get it out the way, and just, right? Food for thought. But definitely this night 1 in a nutshell, I would say loads better than night 1. Night 2 tonight, loads better than what we got with night 1 Saturday. By the way, for a reminder, because we did get a spot tonight promoting it, SummerSlam is going to be in Minneapolis next year, August 1st and 2nd. Again, August 1st and 2nd. It's going to be going down. Better. I think night 2 definitely was better than night 1 in a lot of areas. You could make an argument that there was maybe too many gimmicky matches that was going on, especially as far as like on when you're looking at the level of violence and all that that was happening, right? We just talked about what happened with the steel cage match, and then the street fight, and then the Becky Lynch Lyra no count out, no shit match, you could definitely say it was very heavy on the gimmick. You could definitely say that. But still, I would say this was overall quality wise of the matches definitely better than the previous night. I will give you guys my high point, my low point. I do want to check out the polls and then get a gauge for you guys' comments here. See what you all are saying about this event in a hot little bit. So let me give each of these matches a letter grade first, and I'll definitely give you my high point, my low point when it's all said and done. So, triple threat match, Naomi, Io, Rhea Ripley. I'm going to give them a B. That's B as in bear. Wyatt 6, all those guys, that crazy ass crash test dummy tag match. Spot fest galore. I'll give that a C. I'll give that a C. Becky Lynch taking on Lyra. C plus. C plus. Actually, you know what? Ooh, despite the issues I had with that match, B minus. That's final. Lyra, Becky Lynch, I'll give it a B minus. Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, I will give them a C. Dominic, Mysterio, AJ Styles, I will give them a... Oh, God damn it. That's a tough one right there. I almost want to give them a C plus to a B. I'm going to go with a C plus. I don't think I'm going to change that. I'm going to give them a C plus. Cody, Cena, keeping everything that I just said in mind, I'll give them a B plus. I'll give them a B plus. So overall, what that tally up to, y'all? What are you thinking? What are we thinking here? What is that, like a B minus for night 2, give or take? Or maybe looking at a solid B. I don't know. Maybe like a C plus, B minus, somewhere around that range. 1 being crap, 10 being awesome sauce. I'm willing to give this event a 7.25. I can't go higher. I'm not going to go any higher. I'm not going to go any lower. All right, to the polls. Let's go. Let's see what you guys had to say. Looking at the first poll here on Twitter at the RCWR show. Oh, I'm seeing some interesting news here, by the way, while I'm getting ready to pull up the poll. Shout out to the guys, good guys over there at Wrestle Ops. Triple H stated that John Cena essentially wanted Brock Lesnar during his retirement tour. And I'm quoting Triple H here. One of the first things I said to him, Cena, is who do you want and how? And we're working through that. So, wow, talk about a very high compliment right there. Cena saying, I want Brock Lesnar. Wow. Wow. That is, wow. Okay, so let's see what we got here for the polls. And if there's anything you guys, because maybe you have me and you have the SummerSlam post show playing in the background. If there's any little tidbits of information you want for us to know while we're still live, now's the time to pop in the chat and let us know. All right, right now I am seeing on Twitter, 33% of you guys are giving SummerSlam Night 2 a thumbs down. Again, 33% of you are giving SummerSlam Night 2 a thumbs down. Meanwhile, 66% of you are giving the event a thumbs up. Appreciate you guys via Twitter. By the way, for those of you that might be curious how night one had went, the final results for night one is as follows. 12% gave night one of SummerSlam a thumbs down. 41% gave the event a thumbs up. And this was a bonus option exclusive to our Twitter community only. 45% said, damn, that's Seth Rollins. Appreciate you guys via Twitter there. I'm trying to see this comment on Twitter because somebody left a comment with the SummerSlam Night 2 poll. Let me see if I might be able to pull that up. I don't know what Evan is trying to say here. Evan is saying for Lesnar alone. So maybe he's saying thumbs up for Lesnar alone. I don't know. Maybe that's what he's trying to say. All right, let's see how you guys voted via YouTube here. I want to pull up YouTube. I did have the poll up, but man, once again, we had somebody that the event wasn't even over yet. We had like about at least 35 minutes to go, and somebody prematurely had gave SummerSlam a thumbs down. So it was kind of like, so I had to delete the poll and basically put it up as it got more closer to the event being over. So if you had noticed the post I had made about, hey, don't vote until the event is over. Like, yeah, because that's just my way of putting it out there. So I don't have to try to remember, because there's only but so many things I can remember when I get ready. Because I'm a solo act here, man. I'm a solo act. And I like being a solo act. Although I don't mind a co-host once in a blue moon. But I like being solo. All right, YouTube. And if you guys want to vote via YouTube, youtube.com/the RCWR show, click on the post section. Right now, 14% of you are giving SummerSlam Night 2 a thumbs down, while 86% of you are giving it a thumbs up. Appreciate you all. And for our YouTube community, as far as the final results, how it's looking here, for Night 1, 27% of you gave Night 1 a thumbs down, and 73% of you gave it a thumbs up. So this is a telling tale in itself. If you're keeping track, Night 2 got 86% thumbs up. Night 1, 73%. That's for our YouTube community. And for those of you that want to hear that Twitter join again for Night 2, we're looking at 66% thumbs up. Still kind of early, though. Still kind of early. And Twitter, as you know, you can put these polls up and it can last for like however long. In this case, we got 24 hours on the clock. But for Night 1, which that poll is final, we are looking at, what was that again? 41%. So that's a telling tale, isn't it? A very, very interesting telling tale. All right, so let us go to social media and let's see what the bunches of you are saying for SummerSlam here. Type this in here, see what's going on. Oh, heavenly shades of nighttime. Shout out to Taryn. Taryn is giving the women's three-way 4 stars. The ladder match, that looks to be, oh my God, I got me wanting my damn glasses. That looks like 3.5 stars. Lyra versus Becky, 3 stars. Cage match between Solo and Fatu, a dud, so no rating. Like, they're giving it the lowest. Hot, steamy pile of you know what. Dom versus Styles, 3.5. Cena versus Rhodes, a 5. Is that 5 stars? Yeah, 5 stars. So overall, they're going with a 8.5 out of 10. They felt that there were 3 strong matches that helped the show get to that 8.5, including the classic match at the end between Cena and Rhodes. Okay. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Spawn, I see you. I got you in a hot second. Anthony. Anthony. Well, that's for night one. That's actually for night one. Well, shit. I'll go ahead and I'll include that. I'll include that. Roman J versus Bronson. 3 stars. Look, when you do that 3 1/4, 3 1/4, like, look, okay, just say 3 1/4. Roman Raquel versus Charlotte Alexa. My math is getting late. That's all. I'm getting tired. I ain't bitching. I'm just saying. 2 stars for Roxanne Raquel versus Charlotte Alexa. Ooh, pretty harsh. Sammy versus Carrion. 2.5 stars. Tiffany versus Jade. 3. God, I'm just gonna say 3. He's got like 3 3/4. I don't know what the hell that is. Like 3.75. I think it's 3.75. Deserve more time. Best singles Jade performance. Okay. Jade Randy versus Drew Logan. 4 stars. Simply more fun because I was in person. Oh, so you got a little bit of bias going on here. Okay. Maybe. Just a little bit. Gunther versus Punk featuring Seth. 5 stars. As far as they were concerned, absolute cinema. Okay. Spawn, show you some love, man. As a wrestling fan, but also as a fan of UFC, I was disappointed Brock may close out Cena's tour. In reality, Brock is a beast. Doesn't seem like an even matchup. No, it doesn't quite seem like an even matchup, but I am thinking about the previous times that these guys have locked up and they've given us some memorable shit. I mean, the one thing that we can take comfort in is the fact that Brock for sure is not going to be Cena's last opponent, but it does bring about a very interesting question, which is just who may be that final opponent for John Cena. What I would give, obviously it wouldn't happen, but what I would give to see John Cena and Shawn Michaels one more time. Could it quite live up to what we remember from the previous years? I don't really know. I really don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, we're essentially talking about what? A 64-year-old, maybe 65-year-old Shawn Michaels now. I hope I'm not making him too old, but I know he's always been older than Triple H. If you bear with me a second, I'll actually look up Shawn Michaels' age right now. But I think because Triple H just celebrated a birthday. Yeah, I made Shawn Michaels way too old. Forgive me, guys. Shawn Michaels recently turned 60. Recently turned 60. And then Triple H, I think Triple H is now 57, 58. Let me see how he's looking. 56. Triple H just turned 56. So happy belated birthday to him. His birthday was just a couple of days ago. Let's see what else you guys are saying here for SummerSlam. Shout out to Spicy Ben. Spicy Ben is giving SummerSlam an overall of for both nights too. He's giving a 6.5 out of 10 for both shows. Shout out to Lewis, who felt that none of this shit makes any sense anymore. He feels that WWE has reverted back to the same old shit. He's giving 6.5 out of 10 for night 2. Let's see here. Shout out to Geo. I'll allow it. Geo is saying for night 1, 4.5 out of 10. He felt the ending really ruined it. Shout out to the Skull King. Night 1 was a 1-match show, which was the main event. Night 2 cooked for the most part. The main event was decent, but I really wanted Cody to turn. And Brock's return, all I have to say is justice for Janelle Grant. Overall, 6.5 out of 10. It had its moments. I'll read a couple more because I want to get to I want to get to that tease I did earlier about WWE and the future of their post shows. Now that they're no longer gonna have media members be part of it and all that, I definitely wanna touch upon that in a hot second. Shout out to Playing with Your Beliefs. Very good SummerSlam. Good redemption from WrestleMania. 7.5 out of 10. Shout out to Meta Soto, who is giving SummerSlam an overall rating of 6.5. One more for now. Shout out to Brandon. Cena versus Cody, 10 out of 10. AJ versus Dom, 6 out of 10. Fatu versus Solo, 6 out of 10. Lyra versus Becky, 8 out of 10. Tag match TLC, 9 out of 10. Io, Rhea, Naomi, 7 out of 10. Overall, for night 2, 8 out of 10. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. And yeah, so shout out to my boy Julian Cannon from the Nocturnal Digiday and also the Wrestling Court. Right when I was done with the night 1 SummerSlam post show and I had the audio version rendering and everything, I had hopped on social media and he put out this post and he basically was like, PSA, hey, when it comes to future, WWE post shows and all that, the little conferences that they do, they aren't going to have media members be a part of it. And it was kind of one of those, whoa, what the hell is this about? Like, what's going on here? And Julian had explained a little bit more as far as what was going on. I don't want to take him out of context. This was his exact words. He said WWE is no longer doing media scrums after the pay-per-view. And he revealed that their PR guy, the WWE PR guy, had informed them an hour before the show finished. The guy usually goes to the media box at least 6 minutes before the finish of the main event and walks everyone there after that. Everyone else who did not know was confused. Julian suspects, I don't know how much of this, so this is just his opinion, obviously, so don't take it as basically, I got it. I told you I was going to get it. Remember earlier I said, I think I see a mosquito in here, and I got its ass. Thank God almighty, I got it. I can, okay, anyway. Telling you, when I know there's a mosquito in here, I'm like, the whole time my mind is like, oh my God, it's really bad. It's like, where's the mosquito? Where's the mosquito? Anyway, this is his opinion, and he could be wrong, right? So, but he is under the impression that because of those Triple H and Donald Trump photos that got out this week, which WWE did end up showcasing again during SummerSlam tonight, right? He feels that maybe WWE wants to try to go ahead and skip them altogether. That makes a lot of sense when I take a step back and I think about it. Not to mention, look, you just had Brock Lesnar come back. The last thing that you need is to have Fightful or Sports Illustrated or PW Insider or insert whatever name you want. Hey, you still got this ongoing Janelle Grant lawsuit in which, Triple H, Paul Levesque, your father-in-law, Vince McMahon, is involved. And, we heard some rumblings there in regards to Brock Lesnar. And I mean, to just try to see them wiggle their way in answering that. Right? Now, sure, they could go with innocent until proven guilty or whatever the hell, however you guys are thinking and you want to spin it. That's exactly how WWE could do that. But why put yourself in that position when you can just go ahead and go, you know what? Let's just do it this way instead, which is no more media scrums. Now, how do I feel about the fact that WWE is no longer going to be doing media scrums going forward? Well, I got to tell you, for my friends like Julian, that sucks because Julian goes in and he does the damn thing. He actually goes in legit trying to report, trying to ask really good questions that, he's not going there to ask dumbass. So, have you tried the donuts yet, John Cena? Have you tried the donuts out here in New York? He's not going to ask those type of, but at the same time, Julian's not trying to also do a gotcha question. He's going to come up with a really good question that he knows would not only pick up some really good buzz online and everything, but something that is almost always on the pulse of, as a fan, you go, yeah, what about that? Right? Nothing controversial. Again, nothing, not a got you moment or nothing like that, but he's definitely going to come in there and do his thing. So for guys like him, I think that sucks because he has a proven track record. He does it right. The fact that they will be flushing out guys like Fightful, 401 Mania, Wrestling Inc., PW Insider, the list goes on and on and on. Part of me is like, well, you know what? Okay, cool. Because if you're WWE, hear me out. You may not agree with this. But just hear me out. If you're WWE and you have all the resources that's there, you already have the in-house resources. You already have the accessibility to, and I mean, this is what I have been trying to prepare you guys for many, 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 many years now, which is, and we were among the first here. If not the first, we were among the first. Because you know me, I like going into that whole digital media talk and all that. There was a time when WWE scoffed at social media. They scoffed at podcasts. I mean, whole bunch of shit. Things really started to take a serious turn when Twitter came into the picture and they started seeing how news and information, I mean, they really started seeing. And then when COVID hit, and then we had no choice but to really embrace the digital age and just all the capabilities that there was. Podcasts had really blew up and all that shit. And slowly but surely, we have seen WWE venture off. We have seen them eventually tap into guys, whether we like them or not, but they've tapped into guys that have a serious XM show or, no, Siri. I ain't say Siri. Siri, shut up. That's crazy. Anyway, they tapped into FM radio guys, right? That already has that built in. They started tapping into other media personalities. I'm looking at you, Kathy Kelly. I'm looking at you, what's his face? Joe Tessitore. I'm looking at you. It's another name that I had on the tip of my tongue, but you get the point. Not to continue to be long-winded and dropping names, but we see how they have pretty much done all of that. And WWE has spent decades, as far as public relations, media relations goes, WWE has spent decades cozying up, being partners with people that they know, okay, this is what we need to spend. This is what we need to put out there. Who can we trust that is essentially going to put that out there for us and give us the respected attention that we need? Looking at you, ESPN. Looking at you, insert. So to tell me that WWE is not going to be doing any more media scrums going forward, I would say I'm not surprised. I would say the writing for this has been on the wall for quite a long time. My whole thing was once, and the pattern that I've seen with WWE over the years is once WWE has figured out how to properly utilize something and be successful at it again and again and again and again and again, that's when they start leaning very heavy into it and they go, okay, thank you for your service, but we got it from here. That's how WWE and the monopoly empire that it is, that's how it always came off to me, right down to the point. When was the last time you looked at WWE's podcast lineup? Like, even if you don't watch or listen to the shows, that's fine. But ask yourself this: when was the last time you really kicked back and looked at their podcast lineup for the week? I mean, they've got like 5, 6 shows that all comes out. They pretty much got your asses covered Monday through Friday, or essentially Monday through Saturday, give or take. Okay? So I'm not surprised that they're operating like this. Now, for the guys like Fightful, Full One Mania, and all those, let's be real. And this isn't me taking a knock on any of these guys. It's not. But let's be real. A lot of these guys and gals, they are marks for themselves. And it's all about them getting themselves over because they got the exclusive interview with this. Now some people may feel a certain way when it comes to maybe guys like Sean Ross Sapp. I know there's a lot of wrestlers that like him, they appreciate him and all that other good stuff. He's not everybody's cup of tea. I tell you what, I love it when Sean can just focus on business and not get involved time and time again in online silly shit. That's the best Sean Ross Sapp, when he doesn't get involved in silly online stupid shit and he just focuses on the work and he lets the work. Meanwhile, you can appreciate a quiet guy like a Mike Johnson. You know, before Bill Apter really started slowing things down and everything, you know, there was always Mike Johnson, who really doesn't get enough credit as far as I'm concerned. But a lot of today's so-called, what's the right word I'm looking for? I'm going to throw it out there, but it's not the word I want to use because they're not real, right? A lot of these so-called wrestling journalists are sadly not wrestling journalists. They are first and foremost fans. They are fans of the business and they want to try to do most of them. Only people like me will really tell you this and give it to you right between the eyes. Nobody else really is going to quite, maybe with the exception of maybe Cornette, maybe Bischoff, maybe even Russo will probably most likely go there. Hell, even Stevie Richards will probably go there too, right? But a lot of these people, do you think they did what I did, what I'm currently doing? Do you think they went to community college to get a associate's degree in media production and then not stop there, transfer to a 4-year college in the fall for a degree in broadcast journalism? Do you think a lot? No. Do you think that at least, okay, well, they might not, but, you know, do they at least have a degree in English, writing, public relations, and, you know, like 90% of these guys that's out there, no degree to back up. It is just all about being a mark for the business and them getting to gloat and all that over the fact that they got these free passes to go cover this WWE event over here or this AEW event over there or this TNA event over here, and right? Some of you guys may have noticed over the years and I've seen the chatter that's been out there on my show. A lot of people look at me and they go, he's OG. He's like he's a radio relic. That type of stuff doesn't really work anymore. Or, some people will say, he's legacy radio. We got to get with the new times now because that's not what that's all about. And then you've got other people that are trying to figure out, okay, all these years that I've been at it, like, wow, what is he doing? Because obviously he's doing something right to have the following that he has and all this other. Some of you guys may notice, like, yeah, now that I think about it, Lee, you've never been part of that whole media scrum ecosystem. You know why? This isn't me sucking my own dick. I'm going to explain to you the reason why. Companies like WWE, TNA, and all those other guys, they look at people like me as too dangerous. Not from the standpoint of, oh, I'm not no shit piss milk guy, but they look at me from the standpoint of he's good at what he does, but we can't trust him to really ride that company line and do what we need him to do. We can't mold him. He is his own guy. He's too unfiltered. He's too honest. And that's a dangerous combination. They don't think I'm going to play fair. We've been, in the past, we were on TNA Wrestling's blacklist. We were on their blacklist. Now, from what I understand, it all went down like right before Anthem had took over, and then there was a freeze period. Last I heard, I don't think that freezes, but for some years, there definitely was a freeze. This is secondhand information that I had came across, right? I have it on good authority as far as WWE is concerned. WWE, like, they look at me and it's like, he's good, but he's not, right? So the fact that you've had all these wrestling websites, all these people with these different wrestling websites, and they're able to get these media passes and all that shit, and they're doing SummerSlam and all this other stuff. I think one of my girls wants to come in here. I thought I heard, I don't know, I'm hearing shit. Anyway, but you get what I'm saying. So, when it comes to these, no, I am hearing one of my kids. Hang on. One of my kids wants to pay me a visit. Hang on, guys. Hang on. I'm pretty sure I heard one of my kids just now. So if she wants to come pay me a visit, that's on her. She gonna have to come in here on her own. Anyway, so do you see where I'm getting at? So if you can put yourself in a position, just picture you own your own company. If you got all the resources that you need, why should you keep outsourcing yourself? I knew you all were gonna come in here. Hey, how's it going? How's it going? Nice to see you. You're a great crowd. How you doing? How you doing? You understand what I'm saying? So if you can do everything in house and utilize your own respected connections, why should you continue to mess with outsiders? Especially when there is a certain process message that you're trying to get across to your audience. Be honest with yourselves. How many times have you dealt with a media scrum and you're hoping for a really damn good question, and instead you get, hey, how you doing? Big fat guys like wrestling.com. Hey, CM Punk, I wanted to ask you, you've been here in New Jersey for a couple of days now, and I wanted to know, how do you like our donuts? Dude, that's like 20 fucking seconds I can never get back. I mean, sir, you all know I'm right. That was cold as fuck what I just put, but you've seen your fair share of media scrums. So, look, if WWE essentially wants to do their own post show where it's like they're ripping from inside the NBA And they've got their own. First of all, there's only one inside the NBA crew. Like, you can keep trying, but those guys are it. But if you want to do your own little post show with your own crew, Byron, Kathy, Sam, Biggie, and you have the winners of that pay-per-view event, in this case SummerSlam, share their thoughts on the match, and hey, I'm now the champion, and you can keep all that shit in-house, and at the same time spin whatever story arcs you're trying to spin. More power to you. More power to you. But at the same time, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? I'm right. At the same time, it's a double-edged sword. Because you're going to operate that way, and yet you're going to expect for wrestling media outlets to share whatever packet junket information about whatever upcoming WWE show you're going to be doing and all that other, like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, if I see WWE still continuing to play footsie with the wrestling media, make no mistake about it, they're still going to continue to play with them. But now more than ever, those wrestling sites, it's really going to be okay, we can do this for you, but what are you going to do for us? Can you maybe give us an interview with, it's really going to be one of those, you scratch our back and we'll definitely scratch yours. Whatever you're trying to get out there, we'll definitely hook you up. I think that relationship is definitely going to continue. It's just as far as the scrums go, yeah, forget about it. It's a waste of time. You get the same, and also, be real with yourselves. The same fucking people, annoying people that really, they ain't bringing shit to the table as far as questions, are the same motherfuckers that you get for an AEW media scrum. Same motherfuckers. That's not coming from a bitter person. That's not coming from, what the hell is my wife watching? I am hearing some serious bass going on right now. Hang on, guys. Oh, well, I mean, at least she's got DMX going. And the rough riders, bitches wanna die, bitches wanna lie. Okay, anyway. Damn, she having fun in there. We about to wrap this up because I gotta see what she watching. So I ain't never known her to pump DMX before. She must have fell asleep. Cause I ain't never heard my babe pushing DMX. So DMX and my dogs like jigger my nigga round all night. Anyway, so yeah, the relationship is going to continue and all that. But I mean, if we can now be in a position where we don't have to deal with that, that stupid rhetoric going forward, then I'm down with that. Let us see what is going on. I'll read a couple of more comments and then we'll get ready to dip out of here. All right, because this is almost pushing a goddamn 2-hour show, man. Like, we don't need that. Y'all don't need that. Spawn saying in the chat, have a good night, my friend. Spawn is saying in the chat that there's whispers that Miz may be part of Cena's farewell. I hope so. Make sure y'all tune in Monday night because we're definitely going to get into some thoughts as far as who's going to round out the list for Cena's final opponents as he closes out this calendar year. Let's see. A couple of more comments here. Shout out to Traven. SummerSlam Night 2. Great PLE. EO versus Rhea versus Naomi was a great triple threat match. Awesome TLC match. Bayley calls Lyra. Solo retains. Dom retains. And Brock Lesnar is back. Mind blown. 8.5 out of 10 for this PLE. Shout out to Peter. SummerSlam Night 2 rating. Naomi, EO, Rhea, 4.5 out of 5. TLC, 6.25. Actually, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4.5, okay. And then the tag TLC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.25. Becky versus Lyra, a 4. Solo versus Jacob, a 2.5. AJ versus Dom, a 3. And Cody versus Cena, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Overall, a 8.1 out of 10. Read a couple of more here before we get ready to call it. Shout out to Francis. Women's triple threat, 8. 16 TLC, a 1. He never wants them to do that again. Women's IC title, no DQ, a 3. U.S. steel cage match, a 7. U.S. title, an 8. WWE title, street fight, an 8. Shout out to Fabi. Night 2 match ratings. Triple threat for the women's title. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.25. TLC, 4.75. Winners brought it down a little bit for him. Lyra versus Becky, 4 stars. Jacob versus Solo, 2.25. Dom versus AJ, 4 stars. Cody, Cena, 5 stars. Cena Cody was amazing, but fuck that Brock Lesnar return. Let's do 3 more. Shout out to Cruz. Let's go 7.9 out of 10. Both main events were WrestleMania-esque, but the middle matches were underwhelming at times. TLC match was awesome. Punk Rollins finish was jaw-dropping. Would have definitely preferred Cena to retain before Brock's return. We'll do 2 more. Absolutely 2 more. Shout out to Spider. Night 1, 8 out of 10. Night 2, 8.5 out of 10. Overall, 8.5 to 9 out of 10. SummerSlam was awesome this year. And shout out to who's this? Boy, that's too cryptic of a handle. I can't really read that. Let's try something else. Shout out to Muhammad. SummerSlam Night 2, 8.5 out of 10. SummerSlam overall for this year, considering both nights, 7.5 out of 10. The real summer wrestling show in the world. And for you guys are like, you read a bunch of nice ones there, Lee. I'll give you one more, one bonus one. I'll give you a, try to see if I can find a critical one here. Here's a critical one, technically. Shout out to Ben. Actually, that's for night 1. Let me go to night 2. Let's go to night 2. Trying to find a night 2 for you guys. I'm still looking for a... Here you go. Well, it's not really a... Yeah, I'm trying to find a critical one here. Seeing a lot of the same, which is good, but I'm trying to find a really damn good critical one. No. I'm going to give it a few more seconds, but it's still the same. Like the majority of ratings that I'm seeing, it's like still the same. And you could say, looking back on that John Cena Cody Rhodes match, you could essentially say the torch has been passed on. You could definitely make that argument. Yeah, guys, it's pretty much the same universally from what I'm seeing right now. So, hey, we got to pay some bills. I definitely want to give a shout out to our sponsors before we get ready to call it and all that good stuff. Shout out to our sponsor in the IME iRadio station. It's your global soundtrack featuring the hottest indie artists from the 90s, 2000s. Nice throwbacks mixed with today's top 40 hits. Think of it as a world for your ears as far as a tour goes. It is a world tour for your ears. You can discover some really good favorites, some indie gems as well. They play stuff from not just the USA, but from Europe and from Canada. Tune in and vibe out. Streaming 24/7. Look them up online. The IME iRadio station. Once again, the IME iRadio station. So, another show in the books. I will be back with you guys Monday night after WWE Raw goes off the air. I'll be streaming everywhere live on the usual outlets, so join me for that. It will be the Raw after SummerSlam post show. Looking forward to the next handful of developments. Really, really hope we get to experience whatever's happening next for John Cena. Now, I would imagine we'll be seeing Cena on Raw. Question is, how soon? Will we get him tomorrow night? Who knows? And anything that has trickled out of tonight's SummerSlam post show, we'll definitely follow up and touch upon it on the Monday show. We'll also go over my list of opponents that's likely going to be finishing out the Cena tour. We'll get into the latest in headlines and so much more. Hey, be kind, rewind, check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads, wherever you get your podcast. Just search the RCWR show. You can follow me at that same handle all throughout social media. If you enjoyed this episode, you know what to do. Hit the like, share, all that jazz. Go show the YouTube channel some love. We've been picking up a decent amount of subs these past couple of weeks, man, and I love it. Keep that momentum going. Until next go round, my pretty babies, wishing all of y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see you all next go round. You all waiting for the audio version of this? Give me about 45 minutes, and I will have it ready to go. Take care, y'all. Peace.